highs and lows, I guess is the best way to summarise it. My first experience going over there was amazing. Didn't know what to expect, flew over there, put me up in a nice hotel next to the stadium, got to training and a car park. You're trying to park between a Bentley and a Aston Martin, and you're in a 6-year-old used car. You used to be very careful. Best pitches, best facilities, these famous players that you watch on TV. I have to admit my heart was pounding. I was there for a couple of weeks, came home and wasn't really sure, expect anything to happen, and then they got in contact and said they wanted to sign me. So I packed my bags, got my visa and went over there. First couple of years there were very enjoyable. My first taste of it, I guess, was I was on the bench against Man City and I was warming up with Sergio Aguero. Just shaking your head like it's normal for him, but when you're warming up next to him, it's pretty special. Yohan Cabaye, I thought he was unbelievable. In training, I remember giving him a crap ball, and be bouncing and he'd just lock it and then spin 2 players. And I remember just thinking I was in training, wow. If I'd given that ball a year ago anywhere else, they'd be yelling at me, we'd lose the ball, but he just makes you look better. Then I headed down to Bradford on loan. With the transfer window there, I got the call, I had 4 missed calls to get to the club now. The gaffer sort of said, yeah, it'd be great for you. So just got the paperwork in time, went down there. That was a bit different, change rooms, tiny. When you're coming from Newcastle to Bradford, you're expected to play. But these players, especially down at the lower leagues, you're playing for bonuses and stuff like that. So there's players who are playing for their families, I guess. It's sort of like you're coming to take this spot. You do realise the difference. Played my first cup game, we won. Happy days. It was a tough game, it was negatives, ice pitch, never played an ice before in my life. And then the next day on Sky Sports it came up with Bradford kicked out of the FA Cup because I hadn't been registered. So that was not a great first impression. I know when I went to the home game next time, a lot of the fans were jokingly, I guess, giving me stuff and that. So that was a nice taste to loan football. But then from there, yeah, we had a great cup run in the League Cup. Well, we knocked out Arsenal and then knocked out Aston Villa home and away. And even that was just, you'll remember that forever. We ended up making the final at Wembley. The build up to it was amazing, never seen anything like it. Walking out there, 80,000 fans. The game, on the other hand, wasn't fantastic. Lost 5-0. I got hooked at half time, so that made it even worse, I guess. At the time, you're disappointed, but it was a cup final. It was unbelievable. Now you can actually soak it up. Went back to Newcastle, played my first senior game for Newcastle in the cup game. We won 2-0. It was against Morecambe, a League 2 side, and it was a difficult game, proper scrap, so it was good to get the win there. Had another loan spell up in Scotland. Thoroughly enjoyed myself up there. That's when my Socceroos opportunity came out of left field a bit. After that Socceroos game was when I had my injury troubles. When I first did it, I really didn't think you just thought you were injured. Someone said you'd be back in 8 weeks, so it's fine. But it got to a stage where every time I came back, it would falter again. So I had a surgery back in Australia, then I had another one in America. When I was going back for the third one, I know the confidence wasn't great. But luckily this surgeon in America, very skilled, I guess, and very specialist, and got me to a stage where I could be playing again, which was important. That was over a 3-year period, so that was quite difficult. I know if it wasn't for a lot of the friends and that over there, that you probably would have given up, because there's days when you're alone and it's so you have good days, you have bad days, and it's quite difficult. I learned a lot under Rafa Benitez. When we found out he was coming in, it was very yeah, I was always a bit of a fan of his. Massive Liverpool fan when I was growing up, and still am. So my grandparents were from Liverpool, so I still have a lot of family over there, and everyone remembers waking up for the Champions League final when he was coaching, and that made it even more surreal. Obviously, you followed him when you're younger, looked up to him, and obviously other players there. So when you're in an environment where you're working with someone like that, it's pretty special. The last year, I just got back to playing reserve games and got a few under my belt, and obviously I'd love to get back to playing Socceroos, and that's sort of the dream. It's still there and that, but just happy to be playing again after that experience, this sort of second half of my time in the UK. Loving it, bringing back a few memories of living with my parents and playing football, and I guess being with the family and that, and driving into Amy Park with them and realise like why you do this and how you can enjoy it and get the most out of it, which is obviously being able to play and being fit, being healthy. Although things may be tough at this stage of your career, or you might not be playing or that, it's a game of opinions, isn't it? So you can go somewhere else and you can do very well or very bad, I guess, and if not, you move on to somewhere else and go from there. It sort of gives you the don't give up mentality.